Good morning, everyone. Let us start this session. So this is lecture number 17. During last 5 to 6 lectures, we have discussed about the viscous damping. So in the viscous damping, we have seen the three types of damping, that is a critical damping, underdamp, and the overdamp system. And we have seen how to find out the equation for the displacement for each type. After that, we have seen the mathematical modeling by using Newton's second law and by using the energy method for viscous damp system. Now this is second type of damping. This is called as a dry friction damping. It is a Coulomb's damping. Okay. So when a mass is oscillating on a rough surface, then it will experience some sort of damping because of the dry friction. Okay. So consider this is the mass m and it is kept on the horizontal surface. Okay. So this surface, it is having some coefficient. So let us take this as a mu. Okay. So if the mass start oscillating on this surface, suppose this mass is connected with the help of one spring, and if you give some initial displacement from its mean position, either towards the right side or left side. So let us take this initial displacement as a x0. Okay. Then this mass will start oscillating on this horizontal surface, and because of the friction, so here frictional force, so this is the Fk, this is equal to mu into normal reaction, and this friction, it will be a kinetic friction, so this is a mu k. Okay, because this mass will be completely in the motion, and therefore the frictional resistance offered by this surface, it will be the kinetic friction. So because of this frictional force, this mass will undergo some sort of damping, and after some time it will stop oscillating. Okay, so let us say that oscillatory motion. So this is the oscillatory motion. So actually this is without damping, but if you add this damping, then after some time the oscillatory motion, it will stop. So for this Coulomb's damping or a dry friction damping, we should find out the equation of motion. Okay, so consider this is the mean position of the mass, and initially we have displaced this mass towards the right side by the initial displacement x0. Okay, so consider this is the displaced position of the mass towards the right. So this vector, it represents the general displacement or the general value of the displacement or the position, that is a x. Okay, suppose we release that mass from the right side, so from this position, if you release the mass, then it will have the tendency to move on the left side. Okay, so right now at this position only, which is the right position from the equilibrium point, we should find out the forces which will pull the mass towards the mean position or towards the left side. So what are those forces? One force will be the friction spring force, which is offered by this spring having the constant K. Okay, so this spring force, so this is the Fk. Okay, second force, it is the frictional force. So frictional force Fk, so I will use here Fr. Okay, so this frictional force, it will be in the opposite direction, as motion will start from left to right, sorry, right to left. So frictional force, it will be on the right side. So this is the frictional force. So this is the Fr, and the inertia force, it will remain on the right side. So this is mx double dot. Okay. So why this is on the right side? Because the x displacement, it is taken with respect to the mean position. Okay. So as long as the mass is on the right side of the equilibrium position, okay, the x vector, it will point towards the right side only. And therefore, we should consider this mx double dot on the right side. Though the motion is starting from right to left, still we will consider the mx double dot on the right side only. Okay. This friction Fk, that is a spring force, it is towards the left because it is always opposite to the deformation. Okay. And frictional force, it depends on the motion, whether mass is moving from right to left or it is moving from the left to right. Okay. So for this FBD, we have assumed the mass is already displaced towards the right side, and it is moving towards the left. Okay. So basically this is right to left motion of the mass. And this is the free body diagram. Okay. So I will draw that free body diagram. So this is mass M. This is the frictional spring force, which is a Kx. Okay, that is Fk is equal to Kx. Then this is the inertia force, which is a mx double dot, and there is a frictional force towards the right. So this is a Fr. Okay. Now use the Newton's second law. So by using Newton's second law, the equation summation of F is equal to mass into acceleration. Okay. So observe this free body diagram. So in the summation of F, we will consider the external forces. So external forces is, this is Kx and second is the Fr. Okay. So consider the proper sign convention. So Kx, it is on the negative side. Fr is on the right side. So plus Fr is equal to the mass into acceleration, that is the inertia vector. It is on the right side. So it is positive. So this is mx double dot. Okay. So just take this Kx and Fr on the right side. So we will get the equation as mx double dot plus Kx minus Fr is equal to 0. Okay. So this is equation of motion for the Coulomb's damping when the motion starts from right side towards the left side. So this is equation of motion. So consider this is equation 1. Now from this equation, we will find out the solution for x so that we can plot the oscillatory waveform. Okay. And then we can observe the damp motion. Okay. So as we are discussing, this is a Coulomb's damping. That means there is a resistance to the motion. So amplitude of the vibration, it will go on reducing. So in order to plot that waveform, we have to find out the equation for the displacement x from the equation of motion. So we have this equation, which is mx double dot plus Kx minus frictional force Fr is equal to 0. Okay. So I will write this equation x double dot plus k by mx minus Fr upon m. This is equal to 0. So just take this constant value on the right side. So we will get the equation x double dot plus k by mx. This is equal to frictional force upon the mass. Now this equation, it is the second order differential equation. So we will write this in terms of in a differential form. So x double dot is, this is d square x upon dt square plus k by m into x. This is equal to f upon m. So to get the solution, we will use the d operator method. Okay. So for that, just replace this d by dt by capital D, that is a d operator, and write the equation. So it is a d square x plus k by mx. This is equal to, this is f upon m. So equation will be d square plus k by m into x is equal to f upon m. Okay, now solution. Of x, this is given by x is equal to the complementary function plus particular integral. So complementary function we can find out by equating this value to 0. Okay. So for the complementary function, equate d square upon plus k by m into x equal to 0. So from this we will get d square, this is equal to minus k upon m, and d is equal to, so take the square root, so it will become a complex number as it is a negative on the right hand side. So this will become plus or minus I square root k upon m. Okay. So actually we have two roots for the d operator. One is the d1 and second is the d2. So first is the positive, second is negative root. So if you observe this value in the square root, so it is a natural frequency for a simple spring mass system. So we can write d1 and d2. This value is equal to, this is plus or minus I into omega n. Okay. So the complementary function, as we have two distinct roots for the d operator, so we can write the value equation for the complementary function. This is equal to a constant c1 e raised to d1t plus constant c2 e raised to d2t. Okay. So this is the standard equation for the non-repeated roots. So the complementary function, this is equal to c1 e raised to, so d1 value is I omega n plus c2 e raised to minus I omega n t. Okay. So after this, you can expand the value e raised to omega n t. So expand this value e raised to I theta. So you will get the equation c1. This is cos omega n t plus I sin omega n t plus c2. This is cos omega n t minus I sin omega n t. Okay. So we can take this value common. So we will get C1 plus C2 into cos omega nt and plus C1 minus C2 into I sin omega nt. So take this common. Okay. So this complete value C1 plus C2, as C1 and C2 both are constant, so their addition will be again a constant. So we will assume this as a A1. You can assume any other constant A1. So A1 cos omega nt, and this is also a constant C1 minus C2 into complex number. So plus A2 sin omega nt. Okay. So this is a complementary function. So I will write here XCF. So we can take this equation. So assume this as the equation A. Okay. Now we should find out the particular integral. So we have got the value for complementary function. Now next find out the particular integral. Okay. So to find out the particular integral, you should take this complete equation as it is. That is the d square plus k by m into x is equal to fr upon m. So if you want, you can take the screenshot. So for the particular integral, that is the x pi, take the complete equation d square plus k by m into x. This is equal to fr upon m. And now write x is equal to, this is 1 upon d square plus k by m into fr upon m. Okay. So now we have to use the standard equations of d operator method. Okay. So I will write that standard formula 1 upon d square plus a square into, if you have some constant, so I will assume that constant as a z. Okay. So actually this z value is nothing but this fr upon m. This is a constant value. Okay. So if you have the equation in this format for a d operator, then its equation is e raised to minus at integration e raised to plus at into that constant z dt. Okay. So we should use this formula to solve this equation, and therefore x is equal to, so actually this is the x particular integral. So this will become e raised to, now what is a? A is k upon m. Okay, that is the square root k upon m. So this is 1 upon d square plus a square. This is equal to 1 upon d square plus k upon m. So if you write this, Just a minute. This is not a square. This is just a. So 1 upon b square plus a. This is equal to. So here a is equal to k upon m. So for the particular integral, we will have e raised to minus at. So it will become minus k upon m t integration e raised to k upon m into t into z. So the z value is f upon m into dt. Okay. So now integrate this equation. So this f upon m is a constant, e raised to minus k upon m into t into this fr upon m. You can take this constant out of the integration. Now integration of this value will be, this is e raised to k upon m into t and upon k upon m. So this is 1 upon k upon m. Okay. So x particular integral, this value, this is equal to. So this e raised to minus and e raised to plus. So we can cancel out this exponential term. So remaining value is fr upon m into m upon k. Okay. So finally, we will have the equation fr upon k. This is the x particular integral. Okay. So take this equation b. Now from equation a and b, so this is equation that is a complementary function. And this is the particular integral. Okay. So complete solution. So solution for x. So x is equal to x complementary function plus x particular integral. So this is equal to a1 cos omega nt plus a2 cos omega, sin omega nt plus fr upon k. Okay. So this is the equation for x. Now from this equation, we will plot the waveform on displacement versus time or displacement versus angle. Okay. And therefore we should find out these constant values a1 and a2. So to find out these constant values a1 and a2, we will assume some initial conditions. So these initial conditions are, so these are the boundary conditions. So at time t is equal to 0, we have already displaced the mass towards the right side. So that is a x0. Okay. So you can consider this is the mass. It is at the equilibrium position. And this is the horizontal surface. So we have given the displacement on the right side. So this is the initial position of the mass. Okay. And this distance, this is nothing but the x0. This is the initial condition when time is 0. And from this right side, we release the mass. So release the mass means initial velocity is 0. So at the same time, its velocity, that is a x dot value, this is 0. So these are two boundary conditions. So from these two boundary conditions, we can find out these two unknown values a1 and a2. So put the first condition in this equation. So x is x0, t is 0, cos 0 is 1, and sin 0 0. So x0 value is a1 plus fr upon k. Now for the second condition, we should find out the x dot value. That is the equation for x dot. So differentiate this complete equation. So x dot is equal to minus a1 sine omega nt into omega n plus a2 cos omega nt into omega n and plus 0. Now put this condition t0 x dot 0. So x dot is 0. T0 means this total term is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So a2 into omega n, this is 0. That means a2 is 0. Okay. As so a2 value is 0, and from the equation 1 we can write a1 is equal to x0 minus fr upon k. This is the value for a1. So put this value a1 and a2 in this equation. So this term, it will become 0 directly. So x is equal to a1 value is x0 minus fr upon k into cos omega nt plus fr upon k. Okay, so this is the complete solution for the displacement when mass is moving from right to left. Okay. So if you put different values of this angle omega nt, then you will get the different values of the x. That is the position of the mass with respect to angle. Okay. This value is constant, fr upon k, because fr is the frictional resistance. It depends on the surface, that is the coefficient of friction. Then k, it is the spring constant. Okay. So only variable in this equation is omega nt. x0 is initial displacement. Okay. So let us select different values. So our equation is only for right to left motion. X is equal to, this is x0 minus fr upon k cos omega nt plus fr upon k. Okay. Our aim is we want to draw the waveform after initial displacement. Okay, so consider the right side motion. It is a positive. So this is the displacement. This is positive and this is the negative. So when the mass is already displaced on the right side on the horizontal axis, okay, it means that it is shown along this y-axis. So assume this is the initial displacement, which is the x0. From this point, we release the mass. So it will start the motion towards the mean position. And after that, it will cross this mean position. It will move towards the left side. That is on the negative side. Okay. So our waveform, it will start from this point. It will gradually approach to the mean position. After that, it will cross the mean position and it will move towards the left side. Okay. But during this motion, this x0 value, it will go on reducing. Okay. So when the mass crosses the mean position and it moves towards the negative maximum. Okay. So this value from this point, it will not remain same as that of the x0. So we have to find out how much is the value on the negative side. So we should take the reference of this equation. So for this equation, consider angle theta. This is equal to omega nt. Okay, and select the different values for theta. So as the mass starting from right to left, so at the right side, theta is 0. So this is 0. So this is our angle omega nt. That is nothing but theta. So when theta is 0, that means initial time is 0. Okay, mass is at extreme position. That means we must get the value of x0 from this equation. So just you can cross check this, put the theta 0 in this equation. So x is equal to x0 minus f upon k. Cos 0 is 1. Okay, and plus f upon k. So this will get cancelled. So value is x0 only. That means at the initial time, mass is already displaced towards the right side. That is at x0. Now second condition is after pi radian. Okay. So when theta, this is equal to pi, so put the value in this equation. So this is x is equal to x0 minus f upon k. Cos pi is minus 1. So this is minus 1 plus f upon k. Okay. So you will get the equation as x0. So this will become minus. This is plus f upon k and plus this is f upon k. So equation for x is equal to minus x0 plus 2f upon k. And if you take minus sign as a common, then we will get x0 minus 2f upon k. Okay, that means what is meaning of this theta is equal to pi? From the starting position, that is theta is equal to 0, it is the half cycle. Okay, so half cycle means this is the right extreme position and pi means it is the left extreme position, that is this point. Okay, but when mass reaches to the left extreme position, you can observe here this displacement, it is not x0. Okay, it is x0 minus 2f upon k, and this negative sign, it indicates that it is on the negative side of the mean position. Okay, so that means when the mass reaches to the left extreme position, its displacement, it is reduced by this value 2f upon k with respect to the initial value. Okay, and again from this point, mass will start the motion towards the right side. So this is the cyclic motion. Okay, so in the half cycle, for half cycle, the reduction